Hey, how are you, friend? So good to see you, and I'm so glad you're here. You want a cup of coffee? I thought we could just sit down and have a chat. Come on. So, a couple of months ago, I was clicking around on YouTube. It was the end of the night. I was bored. I had nothing to do. And I came across a channel that's pretty popular by a content creator by the name of Anthony Padilla. And immediately I was intrigued by his content, mostly because the majority of his recent work has been simply a series of interviews of people from all walks of life, from all kinds of backgrounds, different belief systems. And it was something that spoke especially to me because of some of the projects that I have initiated throughout my time as an actor and an adult and just a human being in general. I've always loved listening to a good conversation and having a good conversation with someone that might not have everything in common with me. And so the purpose of Coffee Friends today is to just have those conversations. Some of them are going to deal with different social issues. Some of them are going to talk about science. We're going to talk about the entertainment industry. We're going to talk about literature. We're going to have some fun conversations, some curiosity pieces. It's going to be a little bit of a hodgepodge. One of the reasons that I'm putting out this first episode is just to get your suggestions, get a little bit of feedback, because I know what I'm curious about, but I would love to know what are you interested in learning about? And I will do my best to find a friend and we'll have some coffee and just talk about those things. Today's episode is going to be a little bit shorter just because I wanted to explain what I'm up to. And also, if you would love to grab a cup of coffee and sit down and have a conversation and record a podcast, you know where to find me. Shoot me an email at marciafaithharper@gmail.com and we will get the conversation going. We'll get it on the calendar. As I am explaining this, I also want to share another piece of inspiration that was for this podcast. A couple of years ago, I went to a church retreat, and it was at Montreat. It was a beautiful mountain campus up in the Carolinas. And it was the middle of January. It was rainy. It was cold, but it was one of the best experiences I've had in my entire life. The theme of the weekend was compassionate community. And not only did we have keynote speakers from all walks of life, we actually had an interfaith minister, a Muslim interfaith minister, come to our Christian retreat and talk about how we as people can work together and make our communities better. And that was so intriguing to me. But we also had these breakout sessions where there was about 100, 150, 200 people in a room. And we just discussed some pretty sensitive, hot button topics, and how we as the church should respond to them in a compassionate way so we can better impact our communities, help our communities, just be a part of the community that is more helpful than hurtful. And it was an incredible experience, very, very well planned, very well led. But we opened those sessions with a poem that I want to share with you. It's something that I've shared with my cast of Invisible Voices, something that I've shared with acting classes, people that I've been able to mentor over the years. And just whenever tough discussion topics come up, I try to share this and put this idea forward because I think it's so important. And I think it's something that we need to remember. Invitation to Brave Space by Mickey Scott B. Jones. Together we will create brave space, because there is no such thing as a safe space. We exist in the real world. We all carry scars, and we have all caused wounds. In this space, We seek to turn down the volume of the outside world. We amplify voices that fight to be heard elsewhere. We call each other to more truth and love. We have the right to start somewhere and continue to grow. We have the responsibility to examine what we think we know. We will not be perfect. This space will not be perfect. It will not always be what we wish it to be. But it will be our brave space together, and we will work on it side by side. I want to end our time together just by acknowledging the people that invited me to that weekend, those of you that enjoyed it with me, those of you that organized that weekend, that compassionate community retreat at Montreat a couple of years ago. I'd also love to acknowledge my mentors at the Springer Opera House, the Springer Theater Academy, who first taught me to listen to my scene partner. I think especially in these days when we all feel pretty isolated from each other, it's very, very important to remember that we are not the most important people in the room. And I'd also love to acknowledge one of my dear college professors, Dr. Becky Becker, for her marvelous work in my theater history class freshman year. The way that she very graciously handled a lot of the issues that came up in that class. It was a postmodern and multicultural theater history class, and we went over a lot of the road bumps that have been a part of the entertainment industry in America throughout history. The way that she handled all of those discussions was incredible and taught me a lot about what I think I know, and helped me to gain some perspective on, other people's experiences. She created a brave space, and all of those people have inspired me to continue to create that. And I know that all of that is serious and maybe a little bit pretentious. So I do want to assure you that we're going to have plenty of fun on this show. We're going to talk about books. We're going to talk about outer space. We're going to talk about pizza. We're also going to talk about the serious stuff and everything in between. So I hope you come back for the next episode, and I hope that you enjoy every moment of it. I know I've enjoyed every moment of making this, and I will see you next time. So for now, this is Marcia Faith Harper and the Coffee Friends Today podcast, signing off. See you later, friends.